TG Geeks, episode 388, July 25th, 2022. Updates and upheavals. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the Two Gay Geeks, talk about all aspects of Geek-dom and Nerd-ery, sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre, you name it, we talk about it. I'm Keith Lane. We're coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona, wishing we were either in San Diego or in Orlando, one or the other.
Orlando?
Yeah.
Why Orlando?
For the Disney Wish.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah. And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from TG Squared Studios, listening to Keith's phone make a funny noise as someone walked by our door.
Oh. It's the ring and doorbell.
Yeah, the ring. Yeah, and I too wish I could either be in San Diego or getting ready to sail on the Disney Wish with the remaining, with our Mice Chat friends at this time.
My chat friends.
Yes.
We're going to just get on with this episode.
Prepare for hyperdrive.
Meanwhile, in the Hall of Episodes, the Two Gay Geeks are discussing this.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. This weekend is San Diego Comic-Con. There's been a lot of stuff that came out on Thursday, Friday, and
a lot of stuff
this morning. So
yeah, and a lot of stuff,
we
unfortunately, will be coming out today, as it's Saturday, as of this recording in Hall H. That's when all the big news is going to be hitting. But there was a lot of really good news that came out the last couple of days.
Yep. Then we'll have our birthday shout-outs, featured podcast of the week, our feedback. We got some shout-outs. And
I got something for the second segment if we have time. It's a fun little ditty that also came from Comic-Con.
Yep, and then our wacky weekly recap, and then our regular shout-out. So we're just going to get right on with it. Well, we're going to start this off with
a slightly sad note.
Devette C., who is one of our correspondents in Los Angeles area and one of our writers, lost her mother at the age of 95.
Yeah.
And we met
her mother a couple of years back.
Wow, I'm telling you.
I know. What a lovely, lovely woman she was. I was just absolutely enchanted by her. And I would say that, her passing is very, very sad.
Yeah.
But wow, what a magnificent woman.
Exactly. Very strong woman.
She left a mark.
Yep. She was a public school teacher, a black woman that was a public school teacher in Muskogee, Oklahoma. In the 60s.
I know. God bless her for that one.
I'm telling you.
She was amazing, and we're all going to miss her.
She was beloved by everybody.
Yes. So. Yes, I was so happy that Devette was able to bring her when we all went out to dinner that one night.
That was great. It was wonderful having dinner with her. And now we have...
this is funny.
Yeah, our condolences to Devette and the rest of her family.
Yes. Our thoughts are with you, Devette. Yeah. Both you and Rob at this time, because I know that Rob's mom is going through problems too.
Yeah. Now, this is something...
Now for something completely different.
I went out the other day. I don't know what...
It was about a week before my birthday.
Yeah.
That's what really kind of threw me.
There was... And I noticed this box by our mailbox is actually attached to our shed in the back in the parking area. So all of the mailboxes are on the sheds in the back. And I noticed a box down below there, and I picked it up, and it said to Ben Raggington. And, and I thought, okay, well, this is something, I don't know what this is. So I gave it to him, and
I opened it up, and I had no idea what it was. I saw there was a DVD in there. Unfortunately, I don't have it with me. It's in the other room right now. I'm not about to go running for it. But it was basically a documentary about science fiction of the 80s.
Yeah. And it was 4.5 hours long or something like that.
5
5 hours.
5
yes.
hours long.
Yeah, there was a poster and some stickers in there.
Yeah,
and you said,
where did this come from? I was completely baffled by it. We watched the entire thing.
Well,
it took 3.
The interesting thing is it's from Livermore.
Yeah, it's from Livermore, where I grew up.
Fulfillment was from Livermore.
So I had this assumption that maybe this came from good friend Corey because she used to live in Livermore with me. But I know Corey's not living there anymore, so I thought, well, but that doesn't feel right. Also, there's no note from her, so I don't think this is from her. And then finally, I remember we watched it the first night, and we're like, oh my God, this thing is long. And then I took a look at the back and saw it was 5 hours. Oh, well, screw this.
So we watched it in increments.
Yeah, it took about 3 or 4 nights to get through the entire thing. And then we started seeing...
It was a crowdfunding thing.
Yeah, it was all crowdfunding.
And so we looked for Corey's name, thinking
that
this was something that Corey did for him.
And then they looked for my name, and it wasn't there.
And then looked for his name.
And then finally we thought, well, this isn't going to happen, really. We went down to the T's, and what did we see? The Two Gay Geeks. And all of a sudden,
then
it hit me.
Yeah.
It hit me. And then I ran into this room because the box that the DVD came in is still here. So I picked it up and I read it, and it says, Ben Raggington, TG Squared Studios. And I went, oh my God, now I remember where this thing came from.
I contributed to a crowdfunding campaign that I forgot about.
I contributed to this thing over a year ago. And it was a one-time payment.
Yeah.
So I just completely forgot all about it.
Yeah, it was
then also we got this documentary, which I will admit was very enjoyable.
Good, yeah,
I really enjoyed it. I mean, it broke things down into a number of categories, not just years, but it also dealt with anti-villains. It dealt with robots. It was a very thoroughly well done documentary on 80s sci-fi. I enjoyed it a great deal. In fact, there was so much information there. I think that's something I could actually revisit maybe once a year, because there's no way that I can remember all of the information that they dumped in our laps in that.
Yeah.
It was very enjoyable, and I felt like such a doofus for not remembering that I paid for that.
So, yeah, that was it was really weird. And then I saw the Two Gay Geeks because we were right at the top.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh.
Yeah.
Who was that addressed to?
Yeah. And I thought, oh, wait. And then I remember I saw them and went, wait a minute. And that's when I realized, oh, TG, okay, yeah, this is me. But I remember for a whole week I kept scratching my head thinking, where the heck did this come
from?
Me.
Why did I get this?
I did it.
What the heck is this?
It was all me.
Oh, well, we're getting old.
Yeah. So moving on. Now, of course, we can't be at San Diego Comic-Con this year. There's just too many things going on. I'm sure that, we both feel a little bit edgy about going out to San Diego right now.
Yeah.
I mean, Corona, the coronavirus, COVID is just on a big uptick right now. So yeah, it just didn't quite feel like it was a good thing to do. But the news is running out, and we got a bunch of stuff that was all reported from IGN, so a website, and they just sent out this big summary of all this great news. And one of the big things that a lot of people are talking about is the new prequel to Lord of the Rings that's coming to Amazon Prime. Now, there was already a new trailer that was put out like a day or so ago from Amazon Prime that was very interesting, and we got a good look at Sauron before he lost his ability to take on a fair shape. He looks like the elf Anatar, who's supposed to be, I think, the bringer of gifts. Yeah, he's the one who supplied everybody with the rings. I bring the rings. Yes.
And you can put them in your pockets.
Pockets is right. So that was an interesting trailer, but there was a really good clip that was shown at San Diego Comic-Con. We don't have it because, as with all things that happen there, they will show things that nobody else gets to see for at least several months. But we do have a really good breakdown here. And I'm going to try and read through this as really quickly as I possibly can. I'm just going to hit a couple of points because there are some really good things here. So in addition to a brand new three minute trailer, Fans attending the show's Comic-Con panel got to see no fewer than 5 new scenes featuring some of the new major characters introduced to the prequel series. It doesn't appear that Amazon has released this footage online, but here is a breakdown. And I will have the link for this article in the show notes for this episode, article number 388 at tggeeks.com. So if you want to read this for yourself, you can find the link for this article there. Now, one of the scenes shows the debut of Daniel Wayman's character, the Stranger, who just crashed into Middle-earth. Let's think about that for a minute. He crashed into Middle-earth. Very curious. There's Eleanor Norrie Brandyfoot, played by Markella Kavanaugh, and Poppy Proudfellow, played by Megan Richards, are seen approaching this mysterious character. No sooner does Norrie poke the unconscious man that he awakens, and fire and rocks begin to rise around him. The scene ends with the 2 Harfoot rescuers preparing to take the Stranger with them after much prodding from Norrie. Who knows who that could be? There's also a new scene that focuses on Owen Arthur's Prince Durin IV and Robert Aramayo's Elrond, highlighting the unusual friendship between the two. Now, this will be fun. So this is apparently before
dwarves and elves.
Well, this is before the fall.
Right.
I'm not entirely sure when the rift happened between elves and dwarves. We know it is suggested that it happened sometime around when Smaug took over. Good grief! The Lonely Mountains. Right. There seems to be some indication that could have happened there, but. In any case, there is a friendship here between these 2 royal characters, a dwarf and an elf. And the scene is set in what appears to be the mines of Khazad-dûm as Elrond and Durin take part in a competition to split a giant boulder. If Elrond loses, he'll be this is good. He'll be banished from Dwarven lands forever. Unfortunately, the scene ends before we learn whether he wins or loses. Fascinating.
Yeah.
Finally, the panel shows off a clip of battle between elves and orcs, with the 2 sides violently pulling on chains, like a tug of war.
Interesting.
Yeah. So we'll have the link for this. You can read all the details. I'm cautiously optimistic about it. So we'll just kind of wait and see. Now, moving on, and this is kind of a sad news for DC fans. This was announced on Friday. DC seemingly has no plans to make more Snyder-verse movies, and I have mixed feelings on this. I really do. And now, after Zack Snyder was finally able to, really complete his vision on his Justice League movie that you can still see on HBO and you can buy on home video, there was a lot of hope that Warner's would finally give Snyder the green light and finish his movies. However, Warner said, no, we're not doing it. That was just a one-off. The movies that we got, the Joss Whedon Justice League movie, that's canon now. Well, a lot of people are unhappy with that, me included, to be honest, because I didn't like Whedon's Justice League. In any case, Warner's kind of spun off their DC properties to Discovery Plus, so there was some hope that maybe because maybe we might get those Snyder films. Well, because speaking during a San Diego Comic-Con, DC Comics Chief Creative Officer Jim Lee said Justice League: The Snyder Cut would likely be the director's final entry into the franchise. I work on the projects that are in development, Lee said. I think the Snyder Cut was Zack's vision realized, and it was a really satisfying story he told, but there's no plans for additional work on the material. Now, this is disappointing because a lot of people have been clamoring to see Henry Cavill return to the role of Superman.
Yeah.
Now, I will admit, I hated Man of Steel as a movie. I hated it. I liked him. I thought Henry Cavill was very strong, but then I've pretty much liked every single iteration of Superman we've had since Christopher Lee. I've loved them all. Chris is always going to be my favorite, but I still think Henry Cavill was Christopher Reeve. Christopher Lee. Yeah, well, yeah. Did you know? Yeah, Christopher Lee played Superman.
With fangs.
With fangs in the 50s. It's a fact.
With fangs in the 50s.
Yeah, he was the vampire Superman. I'm sure if we look far enough, actually...
we might find something like that.
Actually, there was a brave and the bold Superman Batman team up from the 70s where Superman was a vampire.
Oh, dear Lord.
I had that issue. So it did happen. I have the proof, or at least I had the proof. So, no, Christopher Reeve, pardon me. Christopher Reeve.
I was sitting here and I was thinking,
No.
when did Christopher Lee do... What? Anyway.
It could be fun. In any case, no, Christopher Reeve from the 70s all the way through Henry Cavill and including the wonderful actor that we've got. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the wonderful guy on the CW now. I love them all. Henry Cavill is great. I would have loved to have seen him come back because I like the arc that they finally took him on. So I'm kind of a mixed feelings. Plus, I would have loved to have seen them wrap up the Justice League movie. I know there were more plans for it. I'm really disappointed.
Yeah.
But there it
Warner
is.
is so fickle.
Oh,
just
I know. They're a bit of a mess. So on some more happier news.
more happier,
More happier news. Now, one of
more
the
bestest happier.
Yeah. Now we got a couple of things here that address Disney Plus. These are two shows that are coming to Disney Plus. One of them is actually a season 2, and that is Marvel's What If, which will arrive for Disney Plus subscribers in early 2023, with a third season confirmed sometime in the future.
Ooh.
Now, what do you think of the What's If?
What if?
What if?
What if what?
What if you watched that first season? What would you have thought about it?
Oh, I see. I liked it, actually. It was interesting to see an alternate. There were some that were like, no. But for the most part, I did like the alternate.
I enjoyed it. I would have
multiverses.
Yeah, I would have enjoyed seeing it better tied into the cinematic universe. I mean, it's all connected, and I say that with air quotes.
Right.
It's supposed to be all connected.
Did everybody see that?
Yeah. See my air quotes? I'm doing it right now. But in any case, revealed during Marvel's animation panel at San Diego Comic-Con 2022, a behind-closed-doors preview showed off a handful of heroes and villains from the MCU's multiversal realities, including Captain Carter, Steve Rogers as Iron Man, Black Widow, Thor Ragnarok's Hela. Oh, that's interesting. Young Star-Lord and Ego. Oh, Star-Lord's daddy. The Scarlet Witch, Mandarin, and more. The preview. Oh, that's going to be interesting, bringing the Mandarin back. The preview also showed Thanos.
Trevor?
No, not. Ooh, well, no, not that Mandarin.
No, not
Although that would have been hilarious if they get Trevor back. I would like that. That would be fun because he's always enjoyable to watch. The preview also showed Thanos fighting Captain America from Infinity War. So the last part of the preview takes place in the year, now get this, 1602, which is a year longtime Marvel Comics fans will remember. Marvel 1602 was a 2003 8-issue miniseries penned by Neil Gaiman.
Wow.
Now that could be interesting. The story follows Marvel superheroes that exist in the Elizabethan era, including Nick Fury, X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, and more. Yeah, the directors were on stage at Comic-Con to talk about the new season. They also pointed out, in case anybody wondered, that the Captain Carter that we saw in What If is not the same Captain Carter that appeared in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. I'm actually glad about that because all of those characters that we saw that were part of the Illuminati, they all bit it. And I was kind of bummed at that idea, but knowing that this Captain Carter from What If is still alive makes me very happy. In any case, this link, as well as all the others, will be in the show notes for this episode article, as I said earlier. And we're going to close it off with yet another show coming to Disney Plus, another animated series. Spider-Man Freshman Year arrives on Disney Plus in 2024 and will feature Charlie Cox's Daredevil. During San Diego Comic-Con, learn more information on Spider-Man Freshman Year, the prequel series announced at Disney Day Plus last year. This is the first I'm hearing about it. Focuses on the MCU Spider-Man during his freshman year of high school. Oh, this is going back in time.
Wow.
This includes confirmation that the animated show will launch in Disney Plus on 2024. Charlie Cox's Daredevil will appear in the series. Freshman year comes a few weeks after it was reported that Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio will return and reprise their roles as Daredevil and Kingpin in the upcoming live-action Disney Plus series Echo. In 2021, Kevin Feige said in an interview with Cinema Blend that Cox would return as Daredevil, with the actor making a brief cameo that same year in Spider-Man No Way Home. We've all seen that by now. If you haven't, you need to see that movie. It's actually very good. Although no trailer was shown at the panel, they did get plenty of new details on the upcoming animated show outside of a release window, and Cox returning to voice Daredevil. The series includes confirmation of some villains set to appear in the series, including Dr. Octavius, Chameleon, Speed Demon, Scorpion, Butane, the Pyromaniac. Additionally, Harry Osborn and Amadeus Cho will also appear in the series, and it was also revealed that the second season of that show will be titled Sophomore Year and will focus on Peter's sophomore year of high school.
Interesting.
Wow, they've got something already planned there.
Wow.
And this article also does have that they've got a full schedule to guide you regarding, if you couldn't make it to a San Diego Comic-Con, you want to know what you're going to be missing, click on the link for this article, because there's another link in there that will tell you all the beautiful things that you're missing. So anyway, that is what we've got so far. I got one last story to share with you when we come back later for the second segment. Some good stuff. I wish we could have been there, but I'm really excited about the news items that were reported.
Cool.
This is K.D. Edwards, author of the Tarot Sequence series, and you're listening to The Two Gay Geeks.
Well, here's a few selected birthdays for July 25th through July 31st, 2022. July 25th, Estelle Getty, actress most known as Sophia on The Golden Girls. Mm-hmm. She was actually the youngest on the series and played the oldest.
I know, go figure. The first time I saw a picture of her out of makeup, I thought,
who is
wow.
that?
I mean, who's this teenager I'm looking at here?
Yeah.
She looks so youthful and spry.
Yep. Was a huge supporter of the LGBTQ community.
I think everybody on that show was.
And raised a ton of money for AIDS research.
Yeah.
Her nephew died of AIDS.
Oh, I didn't know that.
There was nobody left in North Carolina to take care of him, so she flew him out to Los Angeles to
God bless
take care of him the last so many days or months or years of his life. So she was quite something. Everybody from that show is gone now.
I know.
So
they've all left us now.
Yep. Next we have Emmett Till. He was a 14-year-old African-American boy who was abducted, tortured, and lynched in Mississippi in 1955 after being accused of offending a white woman in her family's grocery store. The brutality of his murder and the fact that his killers were acquitted drew attention to the long and violent history of persecution of African Americans in the United States. Till posthumously became an icon for the civil rights movement, and it was discovered many years later that several of the witnesses had lied. The Emmett Till Anti-Lynching Act, an American law which makes lynching a federal hate crime, was finally signed into law on March 29th, 2022.
That is far too late. And I remember, and I don't want to get overly political here, but I remember reading about how certain politicians were just horribly opposed to it.
Yeah, it's horrible. And then we have Maria Hughes,
my mom.
She would have been 91 this year.
Oh, God. Yeah, I miss her to this day. She was, a
force of nature.
That's the word I was going to use. She's a force of nature. I mean, she could be the bull in the china shop if she wanted to be.
Yep. July 26th, Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley
Rubik?
Rubik. Stanley Rubik.
He invented the Kubrick cube. I'm going to hurt myself.
Don't hurt yourself, kid.
The Kubrick cube.
Stanley Kubrick.
That's it.
Director.
Filmmaker.
Known for 2001, Clockwork Clockwork Orange.
Thank you. My job is done.
And Dr. Strangelove.
Yeah.
He was actually working on AI, artificial intelligence, when he had a heart attack and died.
Yeah, that was a shame.
Yeah,
I would
sad.
like to have seen his. I know that Spielberg, picked up the mantle and carried it forward, but I really would have been interested in seeing what the movie would have looked like had Kubrick lived.
Yeah. Blake Edwards, director. Oh my gosh, long list of TV and movies.
I know.
Peter Gunn, Mr. Lucky, Pink Panther movies, Victor Victoria. He was the husband of Julie Andrews, and they were very good friends of Henry Mancini, or he was a friend of Henry Mancini.
I think he
wrote almost every theme song or score.
To the best of my knowledge, Kubrick didn't go with anybody else. He only used Mancini. I mean, I haven't bothered to verify that.
Yeah, Peter Gunn, Mr. Lucky was. They were both, as well as several other TV things during that era. And then we have Roger Taylor.
Okay, which Roger Taylor? There are two, and they're both drummers.
This is the famous drummer.
They're both famous. One is for Duran Duran, and the other one is for Queen. And depending on which fan you're talking to, they would argue, mine is the most famous. No, mine is the most famous. Yeah, so
this is the more famous, according to you.
Oh, so this would be the drummer for Queen.
Yes.
Okay.
Take it away.
Roger Taylor, an amazing drummer, phenomenal voice. I mean, he had this, it was almost a brassy, kind of raspy, high, screechy falsetto voice and you listen to a lot of the older Queen tunes, and a lot of that insanely high, not Bohemian Rhapsody, that was Freddie. But if you go earlier than that, songs like Tenement... No, that was Freddie. Freddie did that. Despite the movie Bohemian Rhapsody showing Roger doing that, it was actually Freddie who did that. But if you go to...
Did the walls fall down?
No. But if you go to the Sheer Heart Attack album, a song like Tenement Funster, there is some really blazing high notes in there that were sung by Roger. The guy had a voice that just was unreal. And the way that he blended with Freddie was just amazing.
Yeah. And then we have friend of ours, Ethan Lapham. July 27th, Gary Gagax.
Oh, you've got lots to say here.
Yeah, was an American game designer and author, best known for co-creating the pioneering role-playing game Dungeons and Dragons with Dave Arneson. In the 60s, Gygax created an organization of wargaming clubs and founded the Gen Con gaming convention. In 1971, he helped to develop Chainmail, a miniatures war game based on medieval warfare. He co-founded the company Tactical Studies Rules, TSR, with childhood friend Don Kay in 1973. The following year, he and Arneson created D&D, which expanded on Gygax's Chainmail and included elements of the fantasy stories he loved as a child. In the same year, he founded The Dragon, a magazine based around the new game. In 1977, Gygax began work on a more comprehensive version of the game called Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. And I had an original set of the first three books. Yeah, I had one of Chainmail's. I think that was a second printing, but original printing of the Dungeons and Dragons rules that I bought was 75, I think. So it's I got lost in a move somewhere.
As most things do, sadly.
Yep. Troy Perry, founder of the Metropolitan Community Church with the ministry with the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender communities in Los Angeles. He started it on October 6th, 1968.
Didn't we meet him?
I've met him countless times.
I think the one time we went to a Christmas midnight service in West Hollywood, and I thought he was there. No, he was there. Yes,
Troy
Troy was there because after the service was over, I went up and introduced myself to him because he and I had chatted over AOL. And we chatted for about 5 or 10 minutes. I thought he was a lovely man.
He is great. I mean, if you walked up to him today, even though that was 20 some odd years ago, he would remember your name.
I'm sure.
He's one of those people that he never forgets a name, and any little story that you would have told him, he had that knack Then we have Donnie Yen, actor from Guangzhou, moved to Hong Kong with his family and then to Boston at age 11. His mother was a kung fu master.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's where he learned it.
Exactly. And he knows several styles of martial arts. He rebelled and went and did all of his stuff and was sent actually back to China to study martial arts.
Oh, really?
To keep him out of the street gangs in Boston.
Well, I would say that it worked for him because he's become quite the martial arts action movie star these days.
And most known for his role recently as Chirrut in Rogue One.
Ah.
Yes. And then we have friend of ours, Andrea C. Hernandez Valdez. July 28th, Earl Tupper was an American businessman and inventor, best known as the inventor of Tupperware.
Of course.
An airtight plastic container for storing food, and for founding the related home products company bearing his name, Tupperware Plastics Company. Using a black, inflexible pieces of polyethylene slag that was given to him, a waste product of the oil refining process given to him by a supervisor at DuPont, Tupper purified the slag and molded it into create lightweight, non-breakable containers, cups, bowls, plates, and even gas masks that were used in World War II. He later designed liquid-proof airtight lids inspired by the secure seal of paint can lids. So that's how Tupperware, that you have all the extra lids for.
Got it.
And nothing matches.
Yeah.
How did I even get one of those square or oblong ones? I didn't even buy one of those. Mm-hmm. They multiply. And then we have Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy Onassis. Was an American socialite, writer, photographer, and book editor who served as the First Lady of the United States from 1961 to 1963 as the wife of President John F. Kennedy. A popular First Lady, she endeared the American public with her fashion sense, devotion to her family, and dedication to the historic preservation of the White House. Mm-hmm. During her lifetime, she was regarded as an international fashion icon.
I remember when the last time we got to go to New York and we went to check out Grand Central Station, and I remember thinking, this place looks absolutely magnificent. Took some photos and I showed them, I sent them to Mom here in Phoenix, and she said that we have her, Jacqueline Onassis, to thank for that, because there was a movement to actually demolish Grand Central Station and just get rid of that entire system. And she fought for its preservation and restoration. And because I thought Grand Central Station, you need to see that to believe it.
Exactly.
It was
really
amazing.
do.
And that's all because of Jacqueline Onassis.
Yep. And then we have a friend of ours, Graham Denman, and a friend of mine, Bruce Scrow, who I've known for years and years and years. July 29th, Will Wheaton.
I love this guy. He is so awesome.
American actor, blogger, and New York Times best-selling writer. Portrayed Wesley Crusher on the series Star Trek The Next Generation.
Don't even.
Was in Stand By Me and Toy Soldiers and a number of other things. He's done voice acting roles as Aqualad and Teen Titans, Cosmic Boy, and the
Legend of the Legion of
Superheroes. And oh my gosh, just so many different things he's done.
And finally came back to do Wesley in Star Trek Picard.
Exactly. He was on The Big Bang Theory. He's on Eureka. He's a co-host, was a co-host and co-creator of the YouTube board game show Tabletop.
Which is, it was a delight. I loved watching it.
He has narrated numerous audiobooks, such as Ready Player One and Ready Player Two.
His narration of Ready Player One is fantastic. You need to hear it.
Yeah, and he's also the host of the Ready Room.
Mm-hmm. And he's a massively big supporter of our community.
Absolutely.
He's the guy is awesome. I would love to meet him one day. I really would.
Yep. And then we have Geddy Lee.
One of the finest bass players in the world of the band Rush.
Yep. He joined in September 1968 at the request of his childhood friend, Alec Lifeson. And just
the rest is history.
The rest
at that point.
is history.
Yeah.
Exactly. And his voice is still hanging out there somewhere.
Oh, some of the descriptions, I can't repeat some of them, but some of them, like Mickey Mouse on helium, how did I put it? A bottle rocket put up a cat's butt.
Yeah.
I mean, he really had just this voice that was not to be believed. Yeah, and consummate showman.
Yep. And then we have David Warner, actor in TV and movies on both sides of the pond. My God, his IMDb page goes on forever. I mean, just to name a few: Star Trek, Star Wars, Babylon 5, Doctor Who, Tron. And then he had his turn as Bob Cratchit.
Yeah. Now I thought his portrayal of Bob Cratchit was nice, although he looked a little bit too well-groomed for
washed.
that one.
Yes.
Yeah. Although I'm trying to recall him in Doctor Who.
It was a
was it one of
short
those
mini-series?
Oh.
Yeah, that they did. So
Okay.
that was his Doctor Who.
Okay.
And then we have author friend of ours, Carrie Merrill.
Happy birthday,
Carrie. Miss Kitty Cat herself. She has several cats as well. A new black kitty that is a mess. Calamity Jane. July 30th, Sid Croft and his brother Marty are a Canadian sibling team of television creators and puppeteers. Through the U.S., through their production company, Sid and Marty Croft Pictures, they've made numerous children's televisions and variety show programs in the U.S., particularly in the 70s and early 80s, including the HR Puffin Stuff. Yes.
There was HR Puffin Stuff. There was the Bugaloos. There was
Land of the Lost.
That's right. They did Land of the Lost. There's another one. It starred Charles Nelson Riley. I think it's called Mad Hatters.
Maybe. I don't know.
I think.
It says their fantasy programs often feature large-headed puppets, high-concept plots, and the extensive use of a low-budget special effects.
I loved HR Puffin Stuff, and
I did too.
Yeah, that was a great show.
Yep. Alton Brown, American TV personality, food show presenter, chef, author, actor, cinematographer, and musician. He's the creator of the host of the Food Network television show Good Eats that ran for 14 seasons, host of the miniseries Feasting on Asphalt and Feasting on Waves, and host and main commentator on Iron Chef America and Cutthroat Kitchen.
Right.
He's a best-selling author of several books on food and cooking. Recap series titled Good Eats Reloaded aired on Cooking Channel, and a true sequel series, Good Eats The Return, ran from 2019 to 2021 on Food Network. And then we have very good friend of ours, Brendan Mahoney.
Oh, happy birthday, B.
Turning 65 this year. We're all getting older.
Yeah, we are.
July 31st, Richard Griffiths, Uncle Vernon in Harry Potter. He was actually in an episode of Vicar of Dibley. And then
I vaguely recall that.
Yep. And in Sleepy Hollow, and was considered for the Doctor in 1989 if the series had continued on.
Really? To take after Sylvester McCoy?
Yeah.
Wow.
An interesting little anecdote. It says, when a mobile phone rang out the third time during his performance as Hector, a teacher in Alan Bennett's The History of Boys at the Broadhurst Theater in New York City, Griffiths rounded on the theatergoer and thundered, "I am not going to compete with these electronic devices. You were told to turn them off by the stage manager. You were told it was against the law. If we hear one more phone go off, we will quit this performance. You have been warned."
Ooh,
I can just hear
I
him
can
say,
hear it.
I can see him and
I
hear
can
him
hear it. I
say
mean, and he's doing
and
it.
he would have done it.
And he's doing it in his Uncle Vernon voice, too.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Yep. Wesley Snipes, actor, Blade, Major League. He was Willie Mays Hayes.
He's a really good drama and action actor, but oh my God, I loved him when he did comedy.
To Wong Fu
as
Auntie Noxie.
As Auntie Noxima. Noxima Jones. Oh my God, what a great role.
Oh, when she's chasing after the old lady, she just...
Oh, you just made a U-turn. Yeah, if you want to see Wesley Snipes in some great comedy, you've got to watch To Wong Fu, Thanks for the Memories, Julie Newmar.
Oh, my
He's
gosh.
hilarious in that movie.
And then we have, and this one is just for Hamish.
Of course.
And because Yvonne Gulagong Cawley, I loved her name when I was a kid. I don't know, I was fascinated with her name. Yvonne Gulagong. It was just interesting. She's an Australian former world #1 tennis player. Gulagong was one of the world's leading players in the 70s and early 80s. Gulagong was named Australian of the Year in 1971. She was appointed as a member of the Order of the British Empire in 1972 and as an officer of the Order of Australia in 1982. She was inducted into the Sports Australia Hall of Fame in 85 and the International Tennis Hall of Fame in 88. She leads the Gulagong National Development Camp for Indigenous Boys and Girls, which encourages Indigenous youth to stay in school. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. And then we end with a friend of ours, Brad Jensen. And that's it for the birthdays this time.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go give a listen to our friends Chuck and Craig over at Technorama Podcast.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
In place of our regular public service announcement for Joshua Tree Feeding Program, I have this statement that I want to read. We received some disturbing news late on Friday that it appears Joshua Tree Feeding Program will be shutting down. I don't have all the information, but this is distressing, and we hope that some sort of information or resolution to the issue is presented. I know zero. Mm-hmm. This is a program that is still necessary even today. Keep them in your thoughts and prayers.
And it's time for our feedback. These are comments that we received in response to episodes and articles that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com, and the link. I'm saying the link because we only have two comments that came from the same source. So the link for this feedback will be in the show notes for this episode number 388 that you can find at tggeeks.com. This is regarding TG Geeks episode number 385. Now we start off from Jennifer Dawn, who just simply says, "Thank you for the birthday shout out." Now for the good one. This came from Arkle, and I know you said that you did not expect us to read this on the episode, but it was so good. Thank you for sending it to us. I absolutely loved it. I'm going to read it exactly as he sent it.
It's a quote.
My parents believed, excuse me, I'm already emotional. My parents believed that humans and aliens could coexist. I am living proof of that. But growing up wasn't easy. I am also a trans woman. I'm different, Miss Danvers, but so is everybody. And I don't know when that became such a bad thing. The greatest gift we can give each other is our authentic selves and sharing that. Sharing our truth is what will make us strong. So here I am. I am both human and alien, and I am a trans woman. And I am proud of all of that. That is from Dreamer, a trans superhero played by a trans actress on the Supergirl TV series. I had to look that up after hearing your conversation about the Orville and the Umbrella Academy in this episode. Don't worry, I know this is too long to get read on the show. I just wanted to share. Brian, thank you.
Yes.
I could not pass that one up. It was absolutely beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. That is our feedback.
Yep. If you want to leave a comment on anything that we publish or on one of our episodes, you can do that. You can do Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or you can comment on our YouTube episodes. You can comment anywhere else, as well as tggeeks.com on each article or each episode. We also have a listener feedback line, a visitor feedback line. That's what I was going to say. Yes, a listener feedback line where you can call and you can leave us a voicemail. If you want to do that, that is absolutely wonderful. We would love to play your comment on air. You can call 469-TG Geeks. That is 469-844-3357. And as always, please play nice.
For more than 2 decades, Judy and Dennis Shepard have honored their son Matt by working to erase hate around the world. The Matthew Shepard Foundation honors his legacy by inspiring the good work of activists, teachers, artists, and legislators, and everyday LGBTQ+ folks and their allies. Join us today in helping to erase hate. Visit MatthewShepard.org.
Thank you to Comcast NBC Universal for that promo. Well, as everybody knows, we are huge supporters of independent filmmakers, whether they be, independent creators, whether they be filmmakers, comic book artists, writers, others. Please visit them at cons, buy their stuff, chat them up, chat other people up about them. Buy their stuff, support independent creators, buy their stuff. Did I say that enough times?
Yeah.
Okay, buy their stuff. Support independent creators. If you are trans or are questioning your gender identity, and if you are in crisis or are feeling isolated and need someone to talk to, or you know of someone in a similar situation, there is a special hotline just for you. The hotline is provided by translifeline.org and staffed by trained counselors who are transgender themselves. The hotline in the U.S. is 877-565-8860. In Canada, it is 877-330-6366. Or you can go to translifeline.org to learn about the important work they are doing. Please reach out for help. You are not alone.
Yeah, baby. They're like 2 gay geeks. They're together, you know. They're 2 gay guys and they're geeks. Is that okay?
Before we get into the thing, I just have to say, and we play that all the time, that Austin Powers deal. It's our good friend Mark Biaggi in San Diego. Thank you so much, Mark. He did so
Mark.
So many different
and that was after the very first time we chatted with him too.
Yeah.
Our very first interview with him, which felt like a decade ago now.
Almost.
Yeah, he was one of our earlier interviews, and after it was over, I mean, I remember
like 10 or 12.
Well, I remember after we did that first interview with him, I thought, I immediately love this guy. He is awesome.
Yep.
And he's been not just a friend of the show, but he's become a great personal friend of ours as well. He's a fantastic guy.
Yep.
So, this also came from San Diego Comic-Con. Now, before I get to it, honey, your thoughts on the Apple TV Plus series Severance?
Oh my God.
Is that oh my God good or oh my God yeesh?
Oh my God, it's It's just so weird, but I love it.
It's a real mind bender, wasn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I thought it was a fantastic show. Obviously, it was enormously popular because it's getting a season 2.
Yay!
Yeah, and after that cliffhanger, they better
exactly.
bloody well
they better finish that thing off.
Yeah. So this was also reported from IGN News. This happened at San Diego Comic-Con. Severance, the sinister mind-bending hit now streaming on Apple TV Plus, made a big splash in Ballroom 20 at... Okay, so I don't know about all these rooms. There's Ballroom 20, there's Hall H. I have no idea.
Ballroom 20 is the one down the hall from Hall H. Hall H is that big, massive, crazy,
like an auditorium?
Crazy auditorium thing. And then Ballroom 20 is down...
Just a big-size ballroom.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so this Severance, this panel... It made a big splash in Ballroom 20 at San Diego Comic-Con with a Q&A panel hosted by comedian Patton Oswalt. I would have given anything to have been at that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the series guests included creator-writer Dan Erickson, executive producer Ben Stiller, and stars Adam Scott, Britt Lauer, Dickon Lockman, and Jen Tollock. Oh, and Trammell Tillman. The conversation eventually turned to fan theories and all of the wild speculation going off online, including sites like Reddit. Now, Erickson, with the caveat, I don't want to get into specifics of where things are going in season 2. He explained that he had to force himself off those sites that had all those theories because sometimes they have ideas that are better than what I thought of. I was on it every day for a while. It's kind of addicting. It's really, as we've gotten more into writing season 2, it becomes that thing of infinite options, and you have to be committed to what you're doing. I had to cut off other ideas about where it could go because there's an infinite amount of paths we could take. As far as the sci-fi element goes, Erickson said that he favored the slightness of it. Technologically, the only thing that's different is this chip that they insert into the brain. I've always loved sci-fi that gets into the social elements of something, including movies like Contact, where it's more about how it affects people. Season 2, he added, will continue building out the world a little bit more and being able to see, with this one slight tweak to reality, what the different ramifications of that would be. We don't want for it to feel like sci-fi in the classic sense. And as producer-director Ben Stiller's feelings on the matter, I'm still trying to figure out how to get on Reddit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what Reddit is all about.
And that is
I was way back when I started a Reddit thread for Slice of Sci-Fi and posted something, and I had people just trashing me like crazy.
Oh,
I said,
no.
Oh, I'm done. You know,
yeah, that's
you don't
social
bother
media
to
for
tell
you.
me any, give me any feedback on how to correct it or what I should do or anything. You just trash me. Nope. Thank you. See you later.
Yeah. So Ben Stiller, if you're listening to this, you're probably better off not getting onto Reddit.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have the link for that entire article. I only covered a little bit of it. The link for that, and plus all of the other San Diego Comic-Con news that we covered. Those show notes of those stories will be in the show notes for episode 388 at tggeeks.com. And it's time for our weekly review. These are the things that we ran on our website at tggeeks.com. And yes, I'm going to say it yet one more time. The links for each of these will be in the show notes for 388 at tggeeks.com. Starting with Sunday, July 17th, Nerdy Chupacabras number 109 on Monday the 18th. TG Geeks episode number 387 on Tuesday the 19th. Ben's Breakdown, Thor, Love, and Thunder is more of an uneven blunder. On Wednesday the 20th, Andrea's Angle, Anything's Possible, Authentic Acting. On Thursday the 21st, Andrea's Angle, Nope, Wildly Entertaining, Intelligent. That's the latest movie by Jordan Peele, and I do want to see that one. On Friday the 22nd, Hamish Downey's 5 More Questions with Eloy, also known as Strays of the World. And on Saturday the 23rd, Disney Plus releases first look trailer for National Treasure, Edge of History.
find all these things at tggeeks.com on the show notes. Is that the beginning or the end of the show notes?
I don't know what to tell you. We have some shout outs that we need to make. First to Brian Weber. Big shout out. Good friend Arkle. Thank you, Brian.
For always being a good commenter.
Oh, you're always giving us some really great feedback. Thank you, Arkle. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. He's also referred to as Brian the Ampersand List YouTuber. We give him a shout out because he has his Arkle Times Post Dispatch News, which does republish some of our content from time to time. To find the Post Dispatch News, you need to go to Twitter and find Geek of All Trades. And the word geek is spelled the letter G, the number 3, the number 3, the letter K of all trades, Geek of All Trades. And while you're doing all things Arkle, why don't you go to his YouTube channel, youtube.com/Arkle Studios, to see a number of his projects there. He is
just released
season 7, episode 10, Secret Kingdom 1998. Check it out. We must also give some shout outs to a couple of Facebook groups for allowing us to post our episodes and relevant articles on their pages. First, to Gay Geeks After Hours. Big thanks to their moderators for literally saying we could share away our content there. And their URL is facebook.com/Gay Geeks After Hours. And then to The Gay Geek for pretty much the same thing. And their URL is facebook.com/group/The Gay Geek. And as always, we give special thanks to their moderator, Jeremiah Reeves.
Thank you, Jeremiah. Other places we can be found include Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Amazon Podcasts, as well as where other fine podcasts can be found. Also, check us out on Sci-Fi Radio at 3 a.m. and 3 p.m. Pacific Time on Tuesdays. And listen to their other content. They're a 24-hour geeky internet radio station. Please rate us and review us on iTunes. And don't forget, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page of things we talked about in the show notes. And remember,
how many times can we say show notes in this episode?
Show notes. It's ceased to mean anything.
Yeah, it's lost all meaning.
And remember, you can contact our comment on our Facebook page or our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave us a voicemail at 469-TG-Geeks. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I'm Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. Live and be your authentic self, no matter what the world tells you. Please be kind to yourself and those around you. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. Peace.
Alamarain!
Alamarain!